Hello, I'm going to do a tutorial on different kinds of paths that you can make using 2 in Blender and 1 that you can do in Unity. Okay, so I'm in Blender and I'm going to show the first type of path, which would just be really simple. It doesn't have a lot of flexibility, but you would select some of the faces you want on your path. And I'll just have this one go like across the plane. Shift D and duplicate it, and then extrude it upwards. It's a pretty simple, straightforward path, but it's jagged along the edges. If you want a straighter path, you could go up here, and between different buildings that you might have, you can select Shift, and then do your normal click and drag, and make different paths to wherever your buildings or things in your village may be. And then you just Shift D again, and then extrude it upwards. I'm doing Shift D so that it's a separate entity than this landscape area, so I can easily just press L and select every face on the path. And as you see, it's pretty even, and it goes all around the environment, and it curves and bumps the way that the landscape does. Another way, if I go back into object mode and I add a Bezier curve, I'm going to move it up a bit, delete all the vertices, and then I'm going to make sure on this active tool thing, drag it out and make sure that tool is on surface. It's also up here in the top left. Make sure your drawing tool is on surface. This tool, draw, and then you can just draw like a pencil across where you would want a path to go. Under this tab, right here, Object Data Properties, on the right side, it's the green curve-looking thing. Go to Geometry. Once you've drawn your path, you can go to Geometry, and then increase the depth. This is actually pretty good for like tunnels through the landscape, where half of it is submerged under the landscape and half of it is above, or you could even just delete this landscape and just have a tube that goes around. So for now I'm going to undo that, and you can switch the type of bevel from round to profile and have a square tunnel. If I add extrude, can make it more like irregular shape, like pentagon. If I offset it downwards, it could just be a flat path on top of your normal landscape using the Bezier path, so you don't have to select all the faces. So now I'm going to move on to Unity path. For this next part, I'm going to use the Kenny Arts city kit of the roads just to make it easier, and I've downloaded it and imported it into my Unity project. So if you want this, I'll link that in the description. Okay, I've added a plane to a blank Unity scene. There's just a plane on the floor, and I set the position to 0, 0, 0, so it's in the middle, and I just scaled it up by a bunch. So I can add in this straight road, and maybe a slanted road, a roundabout, and a curve. If I want to line these up, I can just use the Move tool, and then press V once I'm moving it. If you press V, it will vertex snap the edges. So if you wanted to set up a road using pieces, you could just set it up in Unity in case you wanted to change your environment along the way, or use the Unity's landscape mode. And I can just rotate this one. Oops. I can just rotate this one and like put it over here. For the vertex snapping, you just need to make sure you're clicking the top corner of this and lining it up with the other corner. Pressing V will vertex snap to the vertex of this road. So if there's not a vertex there, you can't really snap it to it, but it works for paths. And that's all.